بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So Alhamdulillah, as we mentioned before that we have finished a longer surah, Surah Al-Anfal, and because of this holiday time period, we will do shorter surah of the Quran from the Juz Amma, just to try to understand their meaning and the relationship between them, how they are organized by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how Allah has kept the Quran intact for the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So inshallah ta'ala, we begin today the journey of Surah Zilzall, another very short surah of 8 verses, just like the surah before it also had the 8 ayah. This surah also has 8 ayah. So we start by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that Allah give us blessing that we don't make any mistakes in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also we send our salam and salawat on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the surah before was Surah Al-Bayyinah. And I know some of the brothers were present when we talked about Surah Al-Bayyinah. So if someone asks you what is Bayyinah, what are you going to answer him? What is the word Bayyinah means? Anybody can answer?
Clear evidence.
Clear evidence here. And we say that there is an answer in that surah, the definition of Bayyinah. The second ayah, basically, the clear definition or clear evidence is just a translation. You say, Rasulu minallahi yatlu suhufan mutahhara. That is the definition of Bayyinah, meaning the Rasul himself and also the message. The message means the Rasul himself, and the yatlu means the Rasul is reciting. The tilawa, that word tilawa that we say, it's come from yatlu. And yatlu means to follow something. But someone may ask question, how come Prophet Muhammad can read? Because we all know that he cannot do tilawa, because tilawa means to follow. That's why when kids read the Quran, so, also the same word used, when you say al-qamaru iza talaha, wa-shamsu duhaha, al-qamaru iza talaha. Talaha means to follow. But here the talaha means that Rasulullah is to read, and we have a hadith from here that he said that Allah has purified my heart, okay? And Allah has purified his heart literally twice. It's not just purification like the spiritual purification. It's like a physical purification has been done, and he used to recite he used to follow his heart when he used to recite, because when Jibril used to came, he used to put the Quran inside his heart. So we know from that, so Rasulullah and the message, the Quran is Bayyinah, that's the clear evidence. Also in the previous surah, we know the word Bayyinah has been used twice. The first time for the Quran, the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Prophet Muhammad, and the second one, when we say Utul Kitaba, when we say the people of the book, they were also given a Bayyinah, meaning the previous books that they had, but they didn't follow it, okay? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in that surah that there are 2 groups of people will be there. So people who are believing in this Bayyinah, people who do not believe. So whole humanity is based, categorized depending on the Bayyinah. One group, who's believing and doing the righteous deeds, and one group who's not believing. And among that group who's not believing are the 2 groups also, Ahlul Kitab and Mushrikun people, as Allah mentioned here. In this surah today, we'll find out the relationship. The same 2 words has been mentioned. The khair and the shar. As we all know, the last 2 ayah of the Surah Al-Zilzall has the same 2 words. Khairun zariya and sharun zariya. All these 2 words has been used in the same surah, and Allah will say this. So basically, what's going in the sequence, if you think like this way, some of the mufassirun say, in Surah Al-Alaq and in Surah in Juz Amma, the last Juz of the Quran, there are 37 surah, and a lot of the mufassirun say that these surahs comes in a group. So groups of 4 or groups of 6, sometimes groups of 2, but mostly groups of 4 or 2, because there's a lot of number of surah. In the earlier Quran, meaning in the beginning of the Quran, the surahs come in a pair, like Baqarah and Ali Imran. But in the later part, because there's so many numbers of surah that comes in a group. So Surah Al-Zilzall, Zilzala, the both name, it's a group of 4, starting with this surah, and then the next 3 surah. So the surah is talking about, this surah is talking about the day of judgment. Nothing else is talking about here. Allah is talking about the day of judgment. The next surah is Surah Al-Adiyat, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will talk about the greed of people, the love for dunya. We'll talk about it inshallah ta'ala next week. And then again Allah will switch to Judgment Day, in Surah Al-Qadiyah. And again Allah will switch to Al-Hakumut Takasur, Hatta Zurtumul Makabi. So again that we will be gathering our wealth till we go to the grave. As if Allah is telling us the reminder for judgment day, you will forget about this reminder when you are running after the dunya. So that's why these four groups surah are together. Now with the Surah Al-Bayyinah, Allah said, before, as we mentioned before, when the Surah Al-Alaq start, in Surah Al-Iqra, Bismi Rabbika Allazi Khalaq, in Surah number 96, Allah said, what's happening, how everything started. Because that is the starting point. When Prophet Muhammad became a prophet, he got the first message. And then we say, when did it happen? Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Okay, it happened in the Laylatul Qadr. So what happened, okay, and when it happened. Then Allah said, on that, what I give it to Rasulullah. So in that, in Allah's story, he received something on the night of the Qadr, the night of the power. What did he receive? He received the Bayyinah. Now, based on Bayyinah, Allah has given us a conclusion that, depending on this Bayyinah, two group of people, one will be going to the hellfire, fi nari jahannam, khalidina fiha. One group will be going to the Jannah, radiyallahu anhum wa radu'an. Allah will be pleased with them, they will be pleased with Allah. And that is the end of the journey. Now Allah talking how this end of journey, the last journey, the everlasting journey will start, and this is the starting point where the Surah Al-Zilzall start, with an earthquake. So let's go to the surah, inshallah ta'ala. The first thing, they say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا. The first word, Iza, is just to give you an idea, because you will find this word a lot of surah in the Quran, especially in the later surah, even in the earlier surah. The word Iza means when, okay? But, there are two types of when when you talk in English, okay? One, if I say, when I was a student in ideal school or something. So I'm talking about past, okay? But you can say the when word even in future, when I come tomorrow at Fajr, I need these things done, okay? So I'm talking about the same word when is used. But in Arabic, when you say about the past, is, not iza. Like, is qala Ibrahim, when Ibrahim said, okay? Is qala Musa li qawmi, when Musa said to his nation, that's is. And when you say iza, is something in the future, but future with guarantee, meaning no doubt in that future. When Allah used the word iza, meaning something will happen in future without doubt. So that's the difference between is and iza. So iza zulzilatil ardu zilzalaha, the word zilzala, it's a four-letter word. It's a four-letter, and the English meaning is like when the earthquake will happen, or the rattle will happen, or the shake will happen. Usually in Arabic language, the root words for verb, like the fail, is like three letters, like zahaba, nasara, kataba, all these three letters word. Mostly all of the verb. But some of the special verb has four letters, and the repetition of letter. And there are a few words like this in the Quran. And according to the Arabic language morphology, there's a subject called balagha, when you add an extra letter, it means repetition. For example, very famous, or you all know, waswasa. Waswasa means that you're doing this thing, you're whispering and going away and coming back and whispering again. So it's repetition, just like it happens in our salah, Every time shaitan comes and gives us waswasa, we say, oh no, we have to, we're doing the salah, let's listen to the what he said. Then again we forget. So waswasa coming and go. Damdama alayhim. The famous, a lot of you know the Surah Ash-Shams, damdama alayhim, okay? That's also same thing, okay? Dakkatul dakka, so dakka. So all this word kind of thing is repetition. So zalzala means, the root word of zalzala, like it means that, you trip over, like when you go and sleep over, that means zalzala. But because it's happening in the earthquake, it's a repetition that, on that day, people cannot even walk. They will fall and stand up, And we have hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he said that, people will be as if they're drunken, And when people are drunk, they cannot stand properly. So the earthquake will be so massive that you cannot stand properly. And obviously, the meaning of earth, which is the word or the earth, okay? And then zilzalaha. So the last ha means, a ha is a pronoun, Allah is saying that, it will have an earthquake of its own. So Allah is saying, as if like this earthquake is a property of the earth, meaning it is a feature of the world. It was supposed to happen, but so far I controlled it not to happen. And that's what Allah said, even about the wind, about the rain, about the sky. Allah saying that, we think this is normal situation now. There's nice weather now, we have just a few rain and everything, and the world is not shaking. But actually this world, and according to the Quran, this world, this wind, this world, everything should be abnormal. If you think scientifically, think about the other planets, the Mars, the Jupiter, whatever information we have from NASA, or, whatever. What do they say? They say there's a very weird weather there. Every time there's earthquake or volcanoes or something like this, no oxygen, all these things, all abnormal things. But in the world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make these abnormal things, normal with His control. He made it blessed for us, so that we can live here. So Allah is saying that He will have His earthquake that He's supposed to have. One of the another benefit that, sometimes earthquake happens, like suppose in Indonesia, we don't feel it anyway. Sometimes it happens in Melbourne, we don't feel anyway. Okay, sometimes it happens in Bangladesh. But when Allah add the pronoun ha to the word, it means that it will happen every single inch of the world. It's not like a normal earthquake, like it's happening in one place, not in other place. No, it will happen in every place of the world, and that's the benefit of having the ha at the end, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Then Allah said, وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَسْقَالَهَا, and the earth will discharge his burden. So asqala, and this word has been used 3 times in the same surah. Isqal means that a burden. Like, you have like suppose a animal is pregnant, it is about to give birth. So as if, like, it is in a pain that it has to leave the birth. So that's kind of thing that the misqal means. What misqal? So sikala means something heavy that you need to relieve. So Allah is saying that this word, and Allah again used the word ardu. According to the language, if you know normal Arabic language, when you say something with a name, next time you don't mention that name, you just add a pronoun. Like if I say, Brother Abdullah came to the mosque, and then I don't say again, and Brother Abdullah prayed here. We say Brother Abdullah came to the mosque and he prayed. So we just change Abdullah to he, as use a pronoun. But Allah didn't use the pronoun, Allah used twice just to put an emphasis that, this is the world I'm talking about. So Allah is reminding us, shaking us also. No, don't think that it's not going to happen to you. It's definitely going to happen to you. This is going to happen to your world. And then وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. So every people will ask what's going to happen. مَا لَهَا means what's happening with the world. Now, the word insan, and then we say the next ayah after this one is, yasdurun nas. So one word is nas, one word is insan. Okay, so both word has some difference. Okay, both meaning, if you look the English translation, it means human being or man. Okay, insan means a man when he's individual. Basically, it's an individual person, and every individual person will be alone on that day. Meaning, although you are in a big gathering, that will be the biggest gathering of the world. But because you are standing up there, and you are in such a afraid mode, you are scared because of the Zilzall, so you are by yourself basically. That's why Allah used the word insan, meaning every person will say, what's happening with the world. But some of the mufassirun say the insan, Allah used it only for the kafirun people, because the believers will know what's happening. That's why we're reading the Quran. So on that day we will know what's happening. Also another thing, so you may ask the question, okay, so such a big earthquake will happen, the sky will tear open, so are we going to be happy to see that, or are we going to be scared? Yes, we also be scared. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but our afraidness will be different. Allah said, no, wala khawfun alayhim. And when you say khawf means scared, alayhim, so there's no fear on them. Okay, fear not in them, on them. Meaning, I'll give you a simple example to understand that. Suppose a little kid is playing with a snake, okay? So she doesn't know that it's a dangerous animal. It can bite her, okay? She's just saying, okay, it looks nice, it's like a toy. She doesn't know. So she's not scared of the snake at that time. But is there a fear on her? Yes, there is a risk that, she can be get bite. So that's why if an adult see that, he will scream, no, get away, take the baby away from this, the snake will be biting. But she doesn't understand. On the other hand, the same baby, if you give her a big black teddy bear, which is a big toy, but because of his size and the color, maybe she will be scared. Although, she's scared, but there is no fear. There is no risk of this one. So on that day, we will also be scared by looking at all these changes. We are coming out from the grave and everything, all this happening. But, there is no risk for the believer, inshallah ta'ala, because, Allah tells in the Quran that whoever done good deeds in this world and who are righteous and sincere, they will have no fear. So there is no risk that, they're going to end up in a bad place. Yes, we'll be scared, but not like this. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. Every insan will say what's happening with that. Then يَوْمَئِذٍ تُحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا. Yawma idhin, this word also is like Allah saying on that day, and when he say on that day, it's a different type of, it's like a warning say. Like, sometimes we say, if I find you doing this another day, it's like a warning, okay? That day I will see you, okay? Or if you don't talk to me like this, if you talk to me like, on that day I will see you. So it's like a warning. So Allah is saying on that day to hadithu. Hadith, as you all know, what is hadith means? Hadith means there's something new that you know. The opposite of word of hadith is qadim. Qadim is old, hadith is new. So hadith is something new. So the world will talk something new. And what is that? Akhbaraha, some news. Akhbara, the same word khabar. You all know the word khabar, okay? Because it's the same word in Bangla also, khabar. So there's another word in the Quran about information or news. It's called naba. The same in the Surah Naba, okay? What is the difference between naba and khabar? Naba means there's some information that you never knew before. And that's why the word nabi comes from naba. Then when a nabi comes to the people, they heard something new. They heard the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They used to worship other people or other gods or whatever, but he comes with a new message. So that's why it's called nabi, the naba. And naba could be used for future, present and past, any kind of news, okay? But khabar is something that from the past and you knew about this, but you forgot about that. So it was a news that you had some idea, but you forgot. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the world will do this and it will give us the khabar. The next few ayahs, inshallah. So it's bi anna rabbaka awha laha, because your Lord has commanded. So Allah is answering when the people is asking, what's happening to the world. So Allah is saying the world will tell everything there, okay? And some of the mufassirun say it's not like a linguistic. It's literally Allah will give the power to the earth to talk. So that's why when someone doing a crime, okay, in the world, they should, they look here, anybody looking here, anybody looking here, they should also look down, okay? Because they know that, they don't know that the world will be talking to them. And one of the hadiths from Ibn Masud, Rasulullah said, and this hadith is a Hassan hadith, so not fully authentic, but Hassan Gairi. So in this hadith, Rasulullah said, the world will be giving the power of the speech. And it will say that he did here, in this place he did this. On that place he did that. So all the evidence will come from the world. So he will tell that the world will speak up for each person and point out where he did which crime. And even for the good deeds also, even for the bad deeds also. So Allah saying, and why he's going to do that? Because bi anna rabbaka awha laha, because Allah commanded him. Now look at the word awha. Awha, as you know, the same word is for wahi. Okay, there are, when you talk about wahi, we always think about a prophet or a rasul. Okay, but Allah used this word in different places in the Quran for different things. For an example, Allah talked about wahi for an animal. Which animal is that? You can know that. We talked about this few times with some kids. There's a small animal. Allah said, I have given wahi to that. Bee, yes, nahal, and also there's a non-prophet. Allah said, I gave wahi to that person. Who is that non-prophet? Anybody knows in the Quran? There's a person, Allah said, I have given him wahi. Wa'awha ilayki. So she was a lady. So the mother of Musa alayhi salam. When she didn't know what to do with Musa. Allah has sent her wahi, a ilham, you can say, like inspiration that you should put the baby in a basket and put it in the water. So Allah used this word for different places, but only difference here in this special case, after wahi or awha, Allah always use ila. Okay, but here Allah used la. Awha, then Allah said laha. So why that Mufassirun say, there's a lot of grammatical discussion, I'm not going to go into that. But awha Allah means that it's a special kind of command that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give to the world, that he should speak up and he should tell everyone what they did. Then Allah said, Yawma idhin yasdurun nas. See, I mentioned the nas. Now Allah is getting yasdurun nas ashtata liyuraw a'malahum. The same thing now Allah is telling here that the whole human being who are gathered, they will be yasdur. Yasdur means that the linguistic meaning of that, if you are in a desert, so and you're looking for water, okay, and you see a place that's water, like a well, okay, so you drink the water from there and you move on, because in a desert journey, in the old days when the Bedouin used to journey, they used to look for water. Once they have water, they fill up their jar and everything, and they move on, okay. So Allah is saying here the same word here, and this word actually used in the story of Musa also, when the two lady, the two daughters of the old man who came and tried to get the water, and Musa helped them to get the waters. Okay, same word has been used. So Allah is saying that this world is like a well. So we are in a journey from the beginning of the tummy of our mother, where Allah put us the ruhu inside us, and our ruhu has been created long before that. So we came to this world just for a little while, as if we are going to a well and get some water. So we replenish ourselves in this world. And then we start again, we move on to our infinite journey of the either Jannah or Jahannam. So that's what Allah saying. And this journey will be decided which way you will go according to liyuraw amalahum, depending on your amal, that what you have done. And same thing we read, in Surah Al-Bayyinah, the conclusion, innal lazina, kafaru, who's gonna do kafaru, they will be in the Jahannam. Who will do innal lazina amanu wa amilus salihat, they will be in the Jannah. And then in the last two ayah, Allah saying, فَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. Over there, Allah talked about in Bayyinah, and that is another structure, of Arabic language. When the two things come together, Allah switched the order. So over there in Bayyinah, Allah said first, the fi nari jahannama khalidina fiha. So Allah talked about the negative people first. Okay. Then Allah said, wa innal ladzina amanu wa amilus salihati, about the good people. Here Allah talked about, because Allah is scaring us here. Allah is giving some warning us here. But even Allah giving us warning, Allah saying, don't worry too much. Even if you do a zarra, what is zarra? I will tell you that. What is zarra of good amal, you will be in the good place. So that's why Allah give the good news here first. Okay, khayra yara first. And then Allah said, وَمَنْ مِسْكَالُ zarratin sharra yara, and whoever does the bad deed. Now the zarra, as according to the Mufassirun, nowadays in Arabic language, if you open up a chemistry book in Arabic, zarra means that the atom, or even less than an atom, all these things now. But over there it means that if you're in a shiny day, if you're sitting on a window and you see some dust coming, like you can look at the projector light and you can see some dust, that's called zarra. Imagine what could be the weight of a zarra. You can even see them with your bare eyes all the time, okay, if the proper light is not there. So Allah is saying, even if you do this kind of good deeds, you will be in the thing. So now, and the Mufassir explain what could be good deeds like this in this world that will be weighed, in the judgment day. And it could be anything, any good deed. If you smile on a brother's face, just sincerely, just to get the reward, that could be something. And also, this here, the Mufassir wrote that, this is related to the hadith, the famous hadith, innamul amanu bil niyat. In the world, that hadith doesn't work. Like suppose if you're working on a project and my niyyah was to do the best in this project and get the best deal out of this project, and I tried hard and hard and hard. I worked day and night, but at the end I couldn't meet the deadline and I failed. What my boss will say? He will say, yes, you did good. I saw that you worked hard, but sorry, you didn't meet the criteria. I can't tell her, no, look, my intention was good. Innamal amanu bin niyyah, give me some reward. Allah said, you should be rewarded. He's not going to listen to me. But in this world, it doesn't work. But for the world of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the akhirah, it's worked like this, And that's why, anybody who deals with a good intention, even if they give 5 cents in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a charity, maybe he had 10 cents. So out of the 10 he gave 5 cents. And some brother give you 50,000. So depending on the niyyah, you all know, I don't need to explain this, it could be a zarra type of thing, but you will get the best reward. And again, Allah finish with the shar. So the same with the small deeds. So that's why even if the thing that you're doing is very small in number, but if it is related that under prohibitions, the haram, we should try to avoid this. And that's why Allah said, and the Prophet said, we should say astaghfirullah so many times. Why? This kind of sharra, the small type of small deeds that are sinful, that can be forgiven if we sincerely ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we make tawbah all the time, istighfar all the time, we pray our nafal this, pray, try to fast during the nafal fast and all these things, what they're gonna do? They're not gonna cover up our major sins, but all these sunnah deeds that we do, going to the toilet with the left feet, coming to the masjid with the dua with the masjid, all these small sunnah that you do, that will inshallah ta'ala cover all these things. That's called miskala zaratin sharra yara. So this will be covered for the believers, and for the major sins you did tawbah and you don't repeat the things, and that will cover. So inshallah ta'ala we'll finish this surah here, and we have the time next week or maybe tomorrow we'll go to the next surah, Surah Al-Adiyat, and we'll talk about the relationship and the meaning of the surah. Jazakallahu khairan, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.